Welcome to Allie's Attic Show, where you never know what kind of surprise you'll find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is a gentleman that I've become good friends with. I love the before interview talks. I'm just telling you right now. Please welcome DJ JoN, or Dr. DJ JoN. I always forget to say Dr. DJ JoN because it's like quite the mouthful. Hi, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
Well, I'm fine as frogs are split four ways.
There you go. First off, thank you for coming on my show. I absolutely, like I said, we've had a talk before the show. I absolutely adore you. And your history is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I'm going to get you to tell, like, you have you do Flopcast, first off, which is your radio show. And you are on Twitter. You're on Facebook and Instagram. You're everywhere, right?
No, I don't do Facebook.
Okay. Okay, so, but they can definitely find you on Twitter.
Oh, absolutely.
And DM you and ask to come on your show because I'm urging everybody. I love you, and I think everybody should go on your show. The more exposure, the better. So tell me your story because it's amazing.
Oh, wow. Well, my story starts out back in the day. No.
When I was born.
Yeah, when I was born, my uncle, who is David Miles Huber, who is one of the biggest recording engineers in the world. He first gave me a tape recorder back when I was 5 years old, a little 7-inch, little 5-inch, reel to reel, and that got me into the idea of going into radio. Now he went into recording, of course, and I went into radio. So with that, that's kind of how I got started. I asked him about some radio people. He got me in touch with a place in New York, and we started talking about radio. Well, then I got into ham radio about the age of 18, and I started with that because I was just fascinated that you could push a button on a microphone and talk around the world, and people could hear you. It just blew my mind.
Yeah,
how this works.
My grandpa had one. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it just blew my mind. So I got into that, and then I wanted to get married, and my dad said, well, you got to get a job, I was making, $2.95 an hour for minimum wage back then.
Oh, my God.
So it was like, okay, or maybe it was $2.45, I can't remember. And I said, okay, so I'll join the military. That's fine. So I joined the United States Coast Guard, and I became a radioman in the United States Coast Guard because I had the background for radio.
Mm-hmm.
And but I didn't know Morse code that well, and I was kind of worried about that. So I became the radioman, and they taught us that in school, and I became a high-speed Morse code operator. And yes, one of my claim to fame is I'm the only one to send out an SOS message in Morse code for a spaceship.
Wow.
And that was one of my big accomplishments, if you want to call it an accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
Space Challenger blew up, but and I'm getting interviewed by some museum about that later down the road.
Cool.
But yeah, it's stuff. It's life experiences. So then after I got out of the Coast Guard, I gave 4 years to God and country, and I left the Coast Guard and I went into to work for FEMA and the Federal Emergency Management Agency down here in the U.S.
Okay.
And I worked Hurricane Andrew and a few other Loma Petra earthquakes and stuff like that. I've been around, seen some pretty big disasters.
Yikes.
And then I was working with radios back then and as well. And then I joined the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms as a radio guy, and I installed radios and was a dispatcher of sorts. And then I turned out to become a specialist in the field of surveillance.
Oh.
And I became a surveillance specialist, and I'm professionally trained in photography and videography, and I used to make all kinds of neat devices to record in hotel rooms and I would hang cameras outside on telephone poles to watch people's property. It was they were bad guys, so to speak, and see who was coming and going. And I did all that, and I hurt myself on that job. I busted up my back pretty good, and I wound up medically retiring at 54 years old. Oh. So I had 36 years of federal government service. So
wow,
yeah, that's where I am at. And during my time in the Coast Guard, I went to work for WKJX Radio in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and I did that for a time. And it was a country music station back then. Back then, we had a thermometer hanging outside. So if you wanted to know what the weather was, I'd look at the thermometer and say, okay, it's 42 degrees here in Elizabeth City. And I'd look out at the sky and I'd decide whether it's partly cloudy or partly sunny, just, that kind of stuff. And,
that's how I still say people, the weather people, that's how they do it. I don't care about this meteorology stuff. They go outside, lick their fingers, see which way the wind's coming.
Oh, yeah. That's it. From the northeast, you guess 5 miles an hour.
Exactly, yeah.
But that was real radio back then.
Yeah.
And then we had a lot of stuff in the can that that would play and all the music. But yeah, that was back in the day. And so I did that back in 1982, I guess. And then my ham radio stuff started peaking when I was making money working for ATF. And I got into it really big, into ham radio. And also then the internet craze hit, and I started getting on there, and I started becoming very, very, very popular on a program called www.paltalk.com. Mm-hmm. And I'm very popular there. And the matter of fact, that's where it was just before this interview.
Oh, okay.
And I do my show there, but not in there. I don't put the music into the room, but then I come back and I do, because we do all on-site artists on Flopcast. So these are artists and music that those people wouldn't hear or understand, where they come from.
Okay.
And they're not really interested in hearing new music. They want to hear old music. Well, I'm a classic rocker anyway.
Me too, yeah.
So, yeah, I play the Stones. I play, Aerosmith. I play, whatever, AC/DC, stuff like that. But, and I also do country music in there, too. And I sing a little bit. I've got an album out for that I donate all the money from it to breast cancer research.
Mm-hmm. You do covers.
It's all covers, yeah. Actually, to be honest with you, I'll tell you where I did this. At www.singsnap.com. That is one of the best places you can go to, and it's out of Canada, actually.
Oh.
You can go to sing covers and do things, and I pull them out and I fix them up a little bit myself, and I have them in my own little inventory here. But Feel So Right, Hero, I Honestly Love You, which is a gender bender for me, obviously. Mm-hmm. My Heart Will Go On. I've never heard a man sing that song.
Neither have I.
Yeah, matter of fact, I'll pass it to you. You can listen to it.
Yeah, definitely.
The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. I've got 10 tracks on that one. And, to sell it, you have to go through Harry Fox to sell cover songs.
Okay.
And Harry Fox is the one that deals with that for us unprofessional singers that want to get out. They pay the people that wrote the songs.
Ah, okay. So you have the rates for them.
Right. Well, yeah. And it costs about 9 cents a song per CD, by the way.
Wow.
So it's 90 cents a song or 90 cents a CD just to pay the royalties, and then I sell $5, and it all goes to breast cancer research. That's what I do it for, and that's why I sell it. And the next one I'm going to do is probably going to go to veterans.
Okay.
But I'm working on what I'm going to do. But anyway, I have quite a lot of stuff that I mess around with, and I'm big into audio. I love audio, and I hope I'm sounding okay. But
you are.
I've got a lot of money wrapped up in this stuff.
Yeah, you were telling me. I don't. So
Yeah.
I hope I sound okay.
Oh no, you do. You do. You
Okay,
sound
good.
fine.
Okay, good.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that people want to do, and you know, in Flopcast Radio, and since I just took over managing the station, I'll put it out there that we are looking for on-air talent, and anybody that wants to join just has to. I don't know if we have an application there, or just say, "Hey, I want to join." Have a little energy, have a good mic, and be able to, you know, enunciate very well, and you know, we'll put you in there. You do your own show your way.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty much, I'll say, PG rated. We're not a Howard Stern kind of thing. But,
You're not shock jocks.
no. Although I could have taught Howard Stern everything he knows. Poor guy. But anyway, we do what we can to do this stuff, and we get by with all unsigned artists on that show, and we have a lot of people, and like you were saying earlier, Allie, that you have interviewed and will interview some of these groups or singers that I play, and like Ghostly Beard.
Yes.
Patrick Talbert, he's an amazing man, an amazing man.
I love him.
Yeah, I love his music. You know, he's a great guy. I love his music, and he's not the best, but he's very good in what I play. And Electric Mud, I think you said you were going to have them.
Yeah, maybe. I believe I have them coming on.
So you know, it's very important that we all, and one of the things I'm promoting too is unsigned artists of any kind that are out there. If you want to get your music heard, go to DistroKid, like Distribution Kid. Go to DistroKid, and it does cost a little money, but it's worth it because they get it out on all the platforms. I mean, like I don't know where the heck you download music from, but like, well, I can't think right off the top of my head.
Spotify, Bandcamp.
Yeah, Spotify and all those. Yeah, I mean, it gets them out to all of them. And it's the best distribution company around. Although it does cost money, like I said. Okay. Well, DistroKid is the place you want to be. That's enough said there. My uncle, who is David Miles Huber, is one of the best recording engineers in the world, and he highly recommends that. Since I've interviewed him, and you know, it wouldn't surprise me that you could get an interview with him too.
Send him my way.
Yeah. He's something else. You ought to go and Google his website, 51bpm.com, and he's definitely worth having on your show.
Okay.
As a sound engineer, recording engineer, and a person that's been around the industry a long time, long time, like 50-some years.
Wow. Okay.
He's 9 years older than I am. But anyway, all that said, there's a lot that goes on in my background, and I started with Flopcast, and it was very simple. Flopcast was out there and didn't have anybody, didn't have a DJ at all. And then they said, I went to them. I said, "Hey, you need a DJ?" He said, "We don't have it." I said, "Well, you want one? I'll do it." He said, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, I'll do 2 hours, 3 days." Well, I said, "I'll do 3 hours, 3 days a week." And I said, "No, that's too much." And so I backed it off to 2 hours, 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 6 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. And because it's worldwide, and I have no idea where you are, where anybody is, Australia, or whether you're in England or London or wherever, I don't know. But so it all works out that way, and I advertise it that way. And he's got a DJ schedule on there. And right now we have another professional that's doing a set on there as well. We have 3 DJs right now, and we're working up to getting 4 or 5. And right now they're unpaid, DJs,
Mm-hmm.
but we're working on paying them through getting advertisers and stuff like that, and that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And we're hoping for that next year. We have a listener base that is, wow, I mean, extremely nice. I was just talking to the owner the other day, who just made me manager of the station, but he was telling me that over the last 90 days, we've had over 1.2 million listeners. And I say listeners, these are not just hits on our site.
Mm-hmm.
These are people that actually listened for more than 5 minutes.
Oh,
So they actually listened to a song, and I said that's the only qualification I want about what listeners are. I don't want how many people we saw, because he can rate them out. He can sort them out by how long they listen.
Yeah.
And so it's important to get that, and it's important for advertisers too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have to know all my numbers. I want to talk about, okay, you're an award-winning DJ from 2017. You won, right?
Yeah, it was on. Actually, that was in my Pal Talk, www.paltalk.com.
Okay.
I was voted best DJ in there because, and we had what happened was we had a DJ contest that lasted like 3 days, and with some elimination and some of this and some of that, and I obviously have a little background of me with the lights and stuff like that, in the music that I played and how I played and how I get on and converse with people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't do that in radio. On my station, I don't really get out there and say a lot about people.
Mm-hmm.
But I do try and talk about the people that I know or I have met or I've talked to. Like Haas is is a great one. He's won a country music award in Nashville for a pair of Queens, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great thing.
I'm trying to get him on my show. I haven't got him on. He said he was going to, and then yeah.
Oh yeah, Haas is cool. He is the bee's knees, and yeah, tell him I said so.
I will.
Him and Patrick, and also No Sin and Eden. I love No Sin and Eden's way of blending the voices.
Yeah.
There are two girls that front that band, and they're amazing.
Yeah, they're actually coming on my show.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I hope you get a chance. I don't know, do you play music on your show?
What I do is, because I have a website, I'm licensed by SOCAN. So what I do is when I finish the interview, I edit it and I put it up on my website along with a picture and 2 songs. So 2 of their songs that I get them to send me in MP3 format. I put it up on my website. They're up there for about a week and a half. The YouTube audio video, which is going to be the same with yours, I don't include their music in that because I don't want people to be able to stream it for free. And I want to like pique interest. So if they're sitting there listening to the interview and they don't hear the song, they're more likely to go look for them. And if they're looking for them, they're going to hopefully buy them.
Okay.
So
let me say this. For mine, they're not out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only one that distributes this CD. So if you want to put them in the interview, or if you want to put them at the end of the interview, I don't care. If you want to put them on your site, I don't care. But the whole thing or none or just part of it, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you do with it. That's fine with me.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big things about it is that because these are all cover songs anyway.
Yeah.
As long as you're okay with that,
yeah,
that's fine. But
yeah, well, I'm licensed and I'm not making any money off it, so yeah.
Right.
I'm able to do that.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, I sing a little bit. I've been singing a little bit for years. I've had a triple bypass, so since I've had my bypass, I don't sing so much live anymore. I've got about 500 recordings that I've made, and about 120 of them are decent enough for me to play. I'll say it that way.
Yeah, you won't hear me doing that.
Well, but you know, and I always say it's all in the equipment. You know,
yeah,
it's all in the equipment because I've got a little bit of. I never use echo when I record. Now, you people out there, stop using echo. It's not the Elvis echo. It's Elvis reverb. It's different because echo just goes on and on and on and on. Reverb just goes for a short time.
Oh, okay.
But you can hide a lot of sins in it. I mean, your voice doesn't come up to muster, then you can duck down with it and all that stuff. It's all part of the play, but and how you record it. But anyway, and a good recording engineer and a good sound engineer is the key to making your music. Yeah. I'm telling you now, if the guy doesn't know what he's doing or the gal, then dump him.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, Lorena McKinnon. I love that woman's voice. I love her. But I went to I've got quite a lot of her music. But I went to a concert and I saw her live in a concert, and you could not hear her.
Oh my goodness!
I even went to one of the guys that was selling her T-shirts and stuff. I said, "You work with Lorena?" "Oh yeah, I know her real well." Of course I do. And I said, "Well, tell her she needs to fire her sound man because I can't hear a word she's singing out there." Oh. And this was while she was singing. I went out there and talked to her. I said, it was horrible. It was just horrible. And I've said this to her on Twitter 100 times, but because she starts talking about these concerts and everything she goes to, and it's difficult. I know it's very difficult to get people to get the sound right, but you definitely need to work with people that know what they're doing. I don't care if you're singing live at a concert or a county fair. You need to get it right.
Yeah, definitely. That's what sells your CDs when you're performing live, right? You've got to be able to hear the person. I can't stand that. I was watching. I'm going to talk about this really quick. The Voice. I watch it religiously. It's one of my favorite shows because I don't watch TV. I usually listen to music. This year, I couldn't hear a lot of the singers, and it's the first time I ever had that problem. And my mom and my stepdad, we couldn't hear them. The music was overpowering them. And it shocked me because, I mean, it's NBC, right? But that goes to show you that it can happen anywhere, and you have to have the right people. And yeah, I wasn't happy at all.
Well, let me throw this at you. I just got done tweeting, and I'm not kidding you. It was a few weeks ago. I watched it was an award show, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you know who produces that?
Who?
It's oh God, the guy that played Tom Hanks.
Are you serious?
Tom Hanks produces the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and for HBO. I mean, he's the money man behind that. And I just got on Twitter and I slammed him big time. I could not hear 3 of the groups that were playing. I couldn't understand them. And I got on him about that. And I said, look, there's something about this that you need to hire a better sound man. Mm-hmm. And another thing, this is a personal side note because I know the man. Mm-hmm. I've met Meatloaf. I've spent private time with Meatloaf. I love the guy to death. He's one of the best entertainers in the world. I swear to God, he's got an attitude that would just knock you on your feet. Or off your feet. He's just an amazing man, and he's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah, and that just torques me.
Yeah.
His Bat Out of Hell album, it should have been
Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you can play this song today, like at a karaoke bar or wherever you play it. And there's people like my grandson who's 13 years old, my granddaughter who's 12 will sing along. It is iconic, and it should have been. Yes, I am going to agree with you 100% on this because it's sad.
I've got a thing on Twitter. I'm damn you, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, get Meatloaf in there.
Yeah. Of
course, I say I want to introduce him, but
Yeah. That's completely different. But yeah, he should be. I agree. I completely agree. And I don't understand why not. And then there's some bands that are in there that I'm questioning. And I'm like, okay, you've got them in there, but you don't have this person? Yeah. So.
Well, they do. And they've started another category I didn't know that they were doing till this last one I saw. They've got singles out now.
Oh.
They're introducing singles into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I think is fantastic. I know the promoter of a thing here in Detroit, where I'm at, and he's a great guy. He's a good friend, and I got front row center seats to go see Chubby Checker.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and I'm going to get a picture of Chubby teaching me the twist.
Ah, there you go.
I can't wait. And Shades of Blue, they're another doo-wop band. He promotes doo-wop bands. And Shades of Blue, I've met, and we love each other to death. They're a great group. There's so many groups that I've been involved with. David Gates, hell, I sang with David Gates.
Oh my God, that would be cool.
Not on stage, but
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, we had fun.
Well, John, I love talking to you. I could talk to you all day. Unfortunately, I do have another interview.
I know. That's fine. I totally respect that.
But I love listening to your stories. Like I could listen to you all day, seriously. Now, you are on Flobcast, like you said, 6 p.m. Greater Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's www.flobcast.com. You can also find Dr. DJ JoN on Twitter. I urge everybody to follow. I urge everybody to upload their music onto Flobcast and get heard worldwide, and have amazing DJs like John introduce your music and interview you and talk to you. And one of the things I like, John, is you're the same as me. It's not just music. It's authors. It's people that like photographers, people that draw, actors. And I do the same thing with my show. I bring any artist on, because art is art. End of story. I don't care if it's musicians or, whatever. I want them on my show. I want to hear their story. And that's part of the reason I do what I do. And I know that's why you do what you do. You want to hear what inspires them. And that's what I love about you.
I will soon be on IMBD as well. I just was in a movie here in Detroit, and I can't talk about it yet because I signed a non-disclosure act. But yeah, I'm going to be on it, and I'll be on IMBD as well. So yeah.
Well, you're going to have to share that with me so I can either bring you back on, or we can share it via Twitter or something. That'd be cool. I've toyed with the thought of acting, but I have this. I'm camera shy, so yeah. I don't know if it would work out well.
I hope this is all audio.
It is all audio. But anyways, I want to say thank you. Not just for the interview, but for the advice that you gave me before the interview and your stories. And I'm serious. I consider you a friend, and I could talk to you forever, and I'm sure we will. And, keep me updated. Like I said, when your movie, whatever, when you can talk about it, let me know. And anything else new that happens, let me know. And anytime you want to come back on and talk about stuff, you can.
Well, I appreciate that very much. And Allie's Attic is the place to be, people. You need to come listen to Allie's Attic, because she's got a ton of stuff.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic Show. Keep checking my website, because you never know what kind of surprises you'll find in my attic. Cheers.